What up, what up, what up? It's your boy, Mr. B-E-A-Z-Y 215, No Easy Outlet, the podcast. And we back. We ready to chew on some more of the fat in this Eagles community of things going on as we ourselves enter off-season preparation way too early. But we here now, so we gotta get into it. It's a lot going on as we are on Nick Sirianni watch, like Groundhog's Day. We on Nick Sirianni watch, waiting to find out if he's going to return as the coach of the Eagles. I think that is the main thing that is right now. You got people on both sides of the fence, and I understand it both ways. I mean, I ain't got to get the drum to say I've been beating the drum to fire Nick for a minute. For me, if you bring him back and you go into next year, what can he do for us? The percentage of people who want Nick gone, what can he do for us to pull us back in and make us believe? What can he do? I mean, if they look phenomenal and get out to a 12-0 start, okay, you might can start to buy back in, but you still don't fully believe because you've seen this team fall apart, so you know they're capable of it. If they don't get off to that type of start, you know, based off of how they finished, where they finished, the strength of schedule, all of that stuff, you really, if you didn't believe now, are you going to buy back in if they get off to a rocky start, a 1-3 start, a 2-5 start? Like, you know what I mean? So, and if you are a returning player and the same things I just said happening, are you at risk of losing the locker room all over again and us repeating the process? See, it's not about losing, just like the games. It's not about losing. You go in there, so you play some great football, they get a miracle field goal or something unfortunate happen, you know, refs bad call, whatever. And it's like, you can live with stuff like that. Okay, you know, one or two things go better here. You know what I mean? And it's a whole different outcome. But based off of what we saw, that is not the case. You know what I mean? You got to get rid of all the cooks in the chef when the meal turned out that bad. When the meal turned out that bad, you got to get rid of all the cooks, the head chef, everybody. You got to get a whole new crew. You can't just replace the line cooks if the whole meal was just so putrid. What is the head chef doing? You know, if it didn't come out fast enough or something was with the prep, you could, you know, replace those, the coordinator, defensive coordinator. You replace those little pieces, but when, I don't know, you got to replace, you go to the whole new restaurant almost. But we can't, the Eagles are the restaurant, so we can't go to a new restaurant, so we got to replace the cooks in the kitchen. But as far as, like, the questions of who shares more blame in this, okay, like, obviously, the defense is what it is. And kind of, we knew that coming into the season. So if, like, we was losing these games, in some cases we was because just the defense couldn't sustain the lead. Okay, then it's like, yeah, we got to get this defense better. The side got to be gone. You know what I mean? Get us a better defensive coordinator. But it wasn't just that. The offense looked almost as inept as the defense at times. And that is crazy because that side was our strength. So that's Nick Sirianni and that's Jalen Hurts, right? Those are the two that are in charge of that. So who shares more blame in that? To me, it's even. It's even. Because Nick was stubborn Even from his answers, he never changed anything. He said this was the same offense from 3 years ago. They was going to keep running it. He beat us. True or not, he beat it in our head that it's his offense. So if that is the case, what are we to expect to come next year? He's just going to come out there. This is why I say you got to get rid of him. He's just going to come out there with the same offense and just expect the guys to execute better. That is not a plan that as a fan I could get behind. I couldn't imagine being a player in the locker room, so we just going to come on out here next year, do the same thing, and hope for better results. If that ain't the definition of insanity, I don't know what is. So how do you bring that back in the locker room? Which is why I'm still pissed off that us as fans, we allow them to support what other fan bases in the media say about us. Like, now that y'all players don't even want to have a home game and play in front of y'all because y'all boo and y'all chant and run the ball and stuff. We allow people like Darius No Play Slay to promote that. And because we wanted this team to do well, we was willing to cave to anything they were saying if we thought it would help them do better. Even that BS. And now we got to eat that. We got to eat that because other fan bases and media that we don't like is going to use that against us. Our own players, out of their mouths, wearing our jerseys with the logos, the ones that we also wear and put on, said that they didn't want to play. They would rather play in somebody else's stadium than in front of y'all because of how y'all are. That's what we allowed. Because we wanted anything to give this team hope. But we're going to be able to talk about that. But anyway, the 50-50. Sirianni, but you got to get rid of him because he has no change. Jalen Hurts can change. We've seen it. We've seen him exceed expectations. We've seen him do great things with less and overcome. So if there's anybody that can change, it's going to be Jalen Hurts. It's not going to be missionary Sirianni, who's not willing to change up and bring any new moves. He's proven this. Who says like he's running the same offense from 3 years ago? So you just telling the other teams or whatever that you ain't changing up nothing as well as it ain't already easy enough to see. Every year you're supposed to get better. I thought this was about improvement. You want the guys to come out there and keep running their routes the same way they ran them last year? No, you got to keep improving to get better because them guys on the other side get better. So that's what I've been saying. All my videos I've been saying. The messaging of what the main thing is, the main thing and the standard. And it's been a disconnect between coach and players. They believe in two different things. That is also why I believe like the AJ Brown thing might be a little bit more something than what we giving it credit for. I mean, we all had a friend that we cool with. We bust it up. We go out. We have a great time until we go decide we going to go get an apartment together. And we decide we going to live together. And we going to share rent and bills together. And I find out that you ain't living the way I live. And that could be what we seeing here. Example. Jalen Hurts, the one that we know and what we believe, he didn't care about winning MVP last year. He cared about winning the Super Bowl. I mean, from the quotes from he didn't care about the record when it was like 11-1 and all that other stuff. He didn't care what the record. He said he had been like 11-0 before and lost in the championship, so he ain't care about records. Like, yeah, stuff that we love him for. He said that stuff, so he didn't care. To me, and I'm sure most of you out there, he didn't care about winning MVP. And from what we've grown to love about him, he doesn't seem a guy that get caught up in the numbers. That's why when they was winning ugly 10-1, and he said, when did winning not become the main thing? When did it just become about being pretty? That seems like, to me, if you look back at that quote, that might be a shot at A.J. Brown and Nick Sirianni and the front office, if you ask me. A.J. Brown cares about how it looks, how we win or lose. What did he do? He might not say it, but I believe it matters to him. Like what his numbers was, how many touches he had in the result of the game, whether it's a win or a lose. Jalen don't operate like that. He don't care if he throw for 60 yards and run for 100 as long as we won. That type of thing. Nick Sirianni seems like the glitz and the glamour of the big plays and the attention that bring is what he about. If he's stubborn enough to not be changing these plays like we see, then he's caught up in the flash and the notoriety. Jalen's doesn't strike me as that type of guy that cares about that, only the result. Did we win? Even if it's 50-52, did we win? Like, how we got there is not important, but did we get there? And some of these guys along the way seem like they are caught up in the glitz and the glamour and the praise of everything that came with getting to the Super Bowl last year, rather than just getting it done by any means necessary. But I also see, have we been here before? And nobody wants to have the uncomfortable conversation about, have we been here before? Have we seen this movie before? Yes, I'm talking Carson Wentz and Jalen Hurts. Have we been here before? No, I'm not talking character issues. I'm not talking about weight room squats. I'm not talking about off the field stuff and being are we even using that this year? The camaraderie with the guys and stuff, are we using that this year? Because all I've heard about is standoffishness on the bench and stuff. So anyway, I say that to say, have we seen this before? One great special year, that sounds similar. Injury, sounds similar. Body language concerns coming out this year, sounds similar. Locker room reports coming out now as we speak, sounds similar. Coaching issues sound similar. Always looking for the big play and the deep shot sounds very similar. Always throwing off the back foot sounds similar. Turns deer in headlight versus the blitz sounds similar. Always trying to play hero ball, not looking for the check down, sounds similar. Targets on one guy, doesn't spread the ball around enough, sounds similar. Not saying it's the same, just saying it sounds similar. Team fails expectations, sounds similar. Maybe it's not the guys, maybe it really is the organization messing these formulas up. I mean, not saying it's the same, I'm just saying it sounds the same. Might not be a duck, I ain't heard it quack yet. I'm just saying the footprints in the sand, they look kind of similar. That's all I'm saying. The footprints in the sand, they look a little similar. I mean, I'm listening to WIP and Hugh Douglas and them guys, and Hugh Douglas is stuck on the reports that, you know, he hearing nobody's talking about yet. I guess they giving him a chance. And if you, at the end of the post game of the Bucks Eagles game, Derek Gunn, when he was talking to Seth Joyner, it was like he had so much he wanted to say but couldn't say. Man, and it's like he had to hold himself back from wanting to say what he knew. And he said might be just coming out, and you know, and I think ever since that last what was it, we lost to Dallas or whatever, and somebody told him, look at the way they get the ball out, this, that, to the third, and he said that, I think he got some backlash from that, so now he's not trying to exactly put it out with him, but he sound, if you just look at the post game from that Bucks Eagles game with Derek Gunn, he sounded like he was ready to just let it fly, what he's been hearing behind the scenes. And that's what I'm saying. All of this turmoil behind the scenes, that don't sound similar. 2020, Carson, Doug, it's all this going on behind the scenes. Do people like Hurts, people like Carson, all Doug want more. He want to hire his own people. He don't want to go with Hurts. He want to go with Carson. All this other stuff we got going on, and the ownership want Carson. They want Carson. Carson tell them no, they gotta trade him. Like, I don't know, but it's your boy, Mr. B-EAZY 215. No Easy Outlet, the podcast. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hopefully y'all like, share, leave some comments, and we gonna tap in. It's your boy. We out.